What's up, guys? Welcome to this new update on the price of Bitcoin, what is happening in this market. So, first of all, congratulations. We are making a new high above 14K, and this is actually pretty close to this psychological level of $20,000. So, the main question right now is whether we are going to the moon without any major stops, or maybe this move was too strong, maybe too fast, and we should be careful with our positions, our investments. Well, first of all, let me show you how the capitalization of Tether looks like right now. If you remember, we were looking at this somewhere here, saying that, well, when we have this kind of plateau, stagnation, or no increase in the capitalization of Tether, so there's no new Tether printed, we kind of see at the same time the price of Bitcoin having a correction. And indeed, this is the summer 2019 when we had this long-term decrease in price of Bitcoin started, and that was the growth. And again, we have this significant growth in the capitalization of Tether again. So right now we are having it continuing. Doesn't seem to be stopping at any point. So probably if we believe to this correlation, then we would have to wait for something like that, or at least the beginning of this area with this kind of a flat region of the capitalization, which doesn't change at some point. So far, we still have it's growing. So, well, probably we might expect the price of Bitcoin going even higher from that point. But I would say that there are two major approaches to view the situation in the market. The first one is kind of ultra bullish, saying that, okay, we're in a bull market, that's enough of those dumps, and we are going to the new high, and maybe we'll not have any corrections at all, or very minor ones, and from that point we'll go to like 20K, 50K, 100K, and so on. The second option, the second opinion, is that there is nothing new here, and we probably will see something similar to what we had previously in 2016, 2017, when every growth like that is followed by a major correction. So, from the point of view of probabilities, in my personal opinion, the second option is more likely to happen. It is more reasonable. So probably at some point, I believe there will be kind of a major correction, and major, when I say major, is probably like 30, 40, maybe even 50%. And the higher we go without such a correction, the deeper this correction should be eventually. Also, we should take into account that here there was not so much options to trade Bitcoin with leverage. While here we have a lot of options to trade it with leverage. It's actually quite huge in terms of the volume which is here in the market, meaning that the volatility at that point should be even bigger. So those 30-40% could be easily turned to 50-60 or even more. And now let's just assume that we will continue to grow maybe to 20K. So meaning that we probably will have this correction, but we don't know at that point which point it will happen. So maybe not now, maybe not in $16,000, but maybe from 17, 18, maybe even $20,000. Okay, $20,000, and let's assume it will be not so strong, again, considering it to be more or less bullish. So let's say 30%. 30% from $20,000, meaning it will go back to $14,000 at that point. So taking into account these two facts, first, we don't know from which point this correction will be, maybe even from 16 or 17,000. And the second one, that regardless of this point, of course, unless we will go to some crazy number like 50 or something, we'll still have this correction to the area even below the current price. And at that point, it would be much better entry than the current one because it will happen actually after the correction. That is the point when you would like to increase your long position working with a bullish trend. Finally, looking at this situation and with the, let's say, indicators, the major ones, on the weekly time frame, we are pretty high, pretty overbought already. Of course, we had similar situation right here, and after that we grew like 50% more. But again, it doesn't mean that we are necessarily do the same thing again. Moreover, we had kind of a significant correction at that point anyways, and the same thing occurred at that point. Every time when the indicators were at that area, we had those corrections over and over again. So it's not necessarily happens like from today or tomorrow, but it's very, very close to that point. And actually, it is even possible that we are starting to have this correction from the current level, because even now you see there is already a divergence on the daily time frame. So higher high here on the indicators, we have lower highs. Of course, the trend is strong, so it might be ignored, but the mere fact that we have those divergences means that probably we grow a little bit too fast and too high right now. So again, in my opinion, I think we should be cautious here. Going back to other points right now, let's say we had these similarities, multiple similarities between the current situation and 2019 with like the shapes of the growth, the speed of that growth, the patterns from the indicators. Also, I would like to pay attention to this shorts, actually longs to shorts ratio, and it's very, very similar to what we had before. So this accumulation period and again accumulation period before the current growth, the shape of this ratio is very, very similar, and the point of the fast growth which we are observing right now, another kind of similar pattern from this ratio is occurring right now. So at some point you would expect this to happen, and that happens basically when we are reaching the top of the local high. Also, very similar things are stated by the fear and greed index. You know, we are at somewhere at the level of 90, which is really high, extreme greed. We had this before in 2019 when the price was $14,000. Of course, we didn't have that index in 2017 and 16, so it might be showing the same values at every point. But again, we have this precedent here, so it's just very likely that the history will maybe not repeat itself, but at least rhyme. Of course, guys, it's just my personal opinion, not a financial advice, and we all try to trade those probabilities here, and it's very hard to estimate which is correct one. But for me personally, I would say that it's too high of a risk to continue to hold these long positions. And saying that, of course, we should understand and keep in mind that there are at least two parts of every portfolio for every kind of sane investors. The one which is long-term kind of investment part, and the second one is quite speculative, short-term. So if you have the long-term one, then there's no need to close it, and you can continue to hold it in the very, very nice profit. But the short-term one, this is the one which you would like to play with, and currently which I am talking about. Someone would say, well, you know, we are after having, and we are having those positive news about the crypto funds are increasing their positions, and we have this PayPal news and so on and so forth. But you know, the old saying that we should buy the rumors and sell the news. So now we have those positive news. Maybe it's the time to at least partially cover our profits and be careful with growing risks. So those are my considerations. And finally, what I would like to show you today, guys, is that I have a friend who is making the indicators applied for Bitcoin, and here, for example, the one which I would like to show you. It is not that bad at all. So you can see the signals, like here is the short, here is long, some other trades in attempt to catch the major move, and recently it was another long position, so you can see that on the history we have a quite nice profit. So it works pretty well on the history, and moreover there are more indicators like that from that analyst. So if you are interested, let me know. I will give you his contact and you can get this indicator. It's not free, but you see, it's probably worth paying attention. So of course, be careful about it. It's not the 100% guarantee for your trades to be successful and profitable, but it might give you additional hints and help for making proper decisions here in the market. Alright guys, that is it for today finally, and I will keep you updated on what is happening, maybe some interesting setups. So far, I hope that it was useful, and thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video. Goodbye.